Hello, everyone. Get up. Your dream is waiting for you. Stop procrastinating. It is time for you to shine. Welcome to another episode of Breaking the Silence. Before I introduce my guest, I would like to take a moment to penetrate your mind with a Black history fact. Did you know Harriet Tubman was the first Black woman to serve in the military? It is important to know your roots because there's a lot of things I still do not know. I will admit I am guilty of waiting to February to learn more about my history. Let me get to the reason why we are here. Today's guest is Miss Lady J. She is the definition of resilience on repeat. She has mastered the ability to bounce back repeatedly from multiple traumas and hardships in her life and business, which earned her the title the Bounce Back Queen. From different forms of abuse, homeless to addiction and near fatal ruptured brain aneurysm, among other setbacks, she has let nothing stop her from winning in life and business. As an award-winning community leader, speaker, rising multimedia mogul, BounceBackologist, author, mentor, and serial entrepreneur, she has been equipped with a unique set of tools to encourage, empower, and support individuals and organizations from all walks of life and industries to conquer the impossible too. She has been featured on numerous media platforms that include, but not limited to, WTHR Channel 13 News, RTV6, Google News, Fox, NBC, Formidable Woman Magazine, Shoutout Atlanta, and more. She is the founder, president, CEO of E.G.O Entertainment Network, Life Support Company LLC, BounceBackologist LLC, No Limits Ministry Inc., and creator of National Re-Up Experience. Her supporters stretch over 63 countries, and she has had the opportunity to feature and cover some of the nation's largest events and celebrities that include, but are not limited to, Sheryl Underwood, Marvin Sapp, Michael Colyar, the Oscars, Griff, Brian White, Patty Spitler, the Stellar Awards, and many more. Over the past 14 years, she has dedicated her life to supporting, serving, mentoring, and empowering others personally and professionally through not only sharing her jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring story, but also through her numerous programs, gifts, talents, and platforms. She will continue the work in ensuring all that are assigned to her learn the fundamentals of how bounce back and win. So please welcome this amazing woman to the stage. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm well, and yourself? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the Breaking the Silence to unleash your inner voice. So tell me a little bit about your businesses and what inspired you to start them.
Well, my first business that I opened up was my nonprofit, No Limits Ministry Incorporated, and I was inspired by my own personal experiences because I have been homeless myself more than once, and that organization serves the homeless community and families in need. And everything else kind of took off through me writing my life story. That book took off like wildfire. Then I started being contacted by news stations, TV shows, radio shows, and things of that sort. And that turned into a whole speaking and then a whole company and setting up interactive sessions to help others bounce back from trauma and hardships. Yeah. And then that led to me having my own radio show on a platform, which then led to me having my own radio station, and which led to me being now a multimedia, company, big multimedia company. So it all kind of worked together the way God worked it out.
Awesome. That's awesome. One thing led to the next, to the next, to the next. So in what ways have you helped the community?
Well, aside from serving the homeless and families in need, I do a lot of community engagement. So speaking, of course, and then doing the interactive BounceBackology sessions with at-risk youth and adults too, sometimes whole families. And also with E.G.O Entertainment, I mean, we're all about community too. So we support businesses, small businesses, Black-owned business, any kind of business, even corporate. So whether that be coming out to do media coverage, interviews on the platform, advertising, marketing. I also do management, so PR and business management for artists and speakers and actors. We also will coordinate and host different events. So if someone's having a grand opening or some type of community event, we also cover events, just like you read in our bio. So a lot.
Okay, that's awesome. So you cover like events for just your community, or does it go to other areas as well?
We travel all 50 states. Yeah. And also help business owners, both aspiring and established, start, grow, or fix their business through the Business Bangers program under Life Support Company. So business development, have a degree in business development, master's in psychology as well. So whether it's business or personal, like Jay got you covered.
I heard that. I heard that. So how did you get this name, BounceBackologist?
Well, after, a lot of people know a lot of the things that I've bounced back from in life. And, it seems that no matter how low I go, it continues to allow me to bounce back and just go even further. So my friend Shanita, she started calling me the bounce back queen. She was like, girl, I ain't never seen nobody just keep coming back, just bounce back no matter what. So she dubbed me the bounce back queen. Everybody else started calling me the bounce back queen. And Dr. Leslie Hodge, she labeled me as the epitome of resilience on repeat. So that's how that came about. And after recovering from my ruptured brain aneurysm, between 2019 and 2022, I decided that the life support program, should be switched to the Bounce Back program. Just something that God dropped in my spirit, and that's how BounceBackology was born. And having a clothing and shoe line, apparel line that reflects that. So it's another constant reminder that that everything is still possible no matter what you've gone through. And so that tagline for that is badass confidence you can wear.
No, that's right. I know that's right. You are a living witness, though, that people go through things in life, but not everybody can bounce back and do the things that you're doing. You have all these businesses, and not only that, you're giving back too. So not everybody can do that. I mean, it had to take some strength and some time and patience to get to where you are, I'm sure. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything I do has to help somebody.
Right. So how has your trauma in your life shaped you as that person?
Oh, this played a huge role, I would say. One, it has, first and foremost, the most important thing it did was it challenged me to understand what having a relationship with God is like. Anytime I'm sharing about my story, I'm sorry, that's just going to be the number one thing, that I talk about, because without him, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have overcome the things that I've overcome, and I wouldn't have had access to, and the favor that I have to, the people that he brought into my life. So all the places that I was lacking, he made sure that there were provisions set up for me. So not only did it push me, in my relationship with him, but then at the same time, it caused me to master long suffering and build endurance and patience when it comes to certain things. I'm still working on the patience thing, because God knows that I'm on patience. Because his kids down here sometimes push your patience.
I'm telling you.
Too. But aside from that, those qualities, the endurance, the long suffering, the also joy, and just learning how to love other people, those things allowed me to have a certain level of compassion that most don't, because when you've gone through the things that I've gone through, you don't ever want people to feel what you felt or experience what you experienced, because the pain that comes along with that, the darkness that comes along with that. And how long, sometimes it can take for you to come out of that. And everybody processes things differently. So, that some people who have gone through some of those things are no longer here at their own hands, so those things shaped me and made me into who and what I am today, and allowed me to obtain the knowledge and wisdom and tools needed to help the people that God was going to assign me to.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, without God, there's nothing possible anyway. You got to have him in your life in order to make everything happen. So
Yeah.
if someone's out there trying to do without God, everything's going to fail. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
I
tell
agree.
me about the books that you've published and what inspired you to write them.
So my first book was part 1 and 2. It's a 3-part series called Life Support. Surviving Life's Worst Challenges was 1, and Rehab was 2. And then the final one I have not put out yet. And I took those 2 books down last year because I am putting everything, including the finale, part 3, into one book, which is now entitled Indestructible, and it's my life story. That's the thing that started all of this to begin with. So I'll be adding some things to it. And so, God dropped in my spirit to change the name. And so that'll be coming out this year, June 1st. And then I've also written Sexual Healing, and that delves deeper into my life story, but also the mindset and the emotional trauma and damage behind using sex to overcome certain issues and obstacles. So if you're someone who's been molested or raped, kidnapped and things like that, like I have been more than once, and have you experienced some other things in life that has caused you to see yourself as damaged goods and not and unworthy of love and things of that sort, then it kind of allows you to see the psyche of an individual like that, and why they do what they do and the decisions that they make and how to overcome that. And then there is also the book I Survived Suicide, which is a compilation of stories. So 5 stories of individuals who actually tried to commit suicide as well. One of my stories of attempts is in there as well. So 4 ladies shared their journey of the things that led up to this particular suicide attempt, the actual suicide attempt itself, what happened, and then what was the outcome, and how they now use that to help other people. And they leave some gems for those who are reading, who may be experiencing those things or have family members who may be experiencing that. And then the 5th story encompasses an individual who did not survive suicide. And so this is volume 1. So there'll be a 2, 3, 4, 5 of other stories coming together. And so that second volume will be compiled this year. And also the movie that stems from the volume 1 is being shot this spring. So, and then there is also an ebook, which is a prelude to my life story, The Indestructible, that's coming. And it's already available on Amazon Kindle, and it is entitled The Little Girl Nobody Fought For, Who Became the Woman Nobody Wanted. So that is another one that is out there.
Oh man, I've got to get all of those. Those all sound good. When do you find the time though to do all of that and run all these businesses too? Because I'm struggling writing with the podcast, being a grandmother and everything I got going around working too. How do you do that? How are you balancing all that?
Well, let me just say beforehand, it was just, do it as it comes. Now, time management is everything. So there are certain days and times that I work on different things for businesses. As far as business bank is concerned, it depends on any business clients, contracts that I have of services I need to provide, or if I'm doing a help shop and things of that sort. It is the most demanding business. Constantly traveling. I'm running, a multimedia company. So a radio station, magazine, news, and PR and management and events. And yeah, it's wild. But those divisions also have teams. So that helps out a lot. And then with the speaking and things of that sort, this will actually be my first year getting back into it full time since the aneurysm. So opening up those divisions under Life Support Company and the writing the book, finishing the finale to the book. It's just time management. And then anything that is pressing. So anything that is priority, where there's a deadline or it's time sensitive, that takes priority over anything, no matter what company it falls under.
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe eventually I'll get some time management going, but right now it's everywhere. I'm just running from one situation to the next situation, trying to finish. So I'm supposed to drop a book on launch day, and I don't think that's going to happen. Sadly, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't have the time like I need to. So describe to me about your experience with celebrities like Sheryl Underwood and like being a part of the Oscars and the Stellar Awards.
Well, so with Sheryl Underwood, I used to be an affiliate of her radio station, her show podcast. So we used to carry her content. JQLM Radio is the radio station under E.G.O Entertainment. And so we used to carry her content, and then we interviewed her. So we had probably like an hour-long interview, about, she's really into HBCUs and supporting them. She's also into, supporting her Black community and things of that sort. So we got to, chop it up with her for quite a while and things of that sort. For the Oscars, I got to cover those during the pandemic. And it was an awesome experience, being in the room with, a lot of major outlets. I mean, everything from Essence Magazine to Ebony and E, and I mean, shoot, it goes on and on. So news stations, entertainment, platforms, television shows, it was just wild. And then having celebrities come into the room, Tyler Perry, her, all of them, it was a phenomenal experience and things of that sort. So, and, constantly being invited to, so right now, we were invited to the Oscar nominee screening for those who have been nominated for, their films, the Oscars. We've been invited to that. We're constantly being invited to things. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of people on the West Coast, even though my team for events spans, spread out in the United States, mostly we have a few in the Midwest and Southern region. So trying to get some more people on the West Coast right now. So yeah, it's awesome. Doing the Stellars is always awesome. Being that I love music. Gospel is my first love, growing up in gospel, singing all my life, that is just awesome. Meeting the ones that you listen to get through those dark times and stuff is just awesome and amazing. People like Leandria Johnson, Jason Nelson, and, and the list goes on and on. So it's always a pleasure. And then the spirit of the interaction, with most of them, it resonates because a lot of them, their spirits resemble what it is that they sing about.
And that's good to hear that they are who they say they are.
Yeah, not everybody, but a lot of them. Yes.
Oh no, you weren't supposed to say that.
Hey, so I'm gonna keep it 100 all the time. So
what advice would you give people about, they go through things about having trouble to bouncing back? Because some people, can't bounce back. Some people don't know how to bounce back.
Well, one, you have to be honest about where you are. So a lot of us lie to ourselves and say, I'm good, I'm okay, I don't want to revisit that. And we think that we can just go through life and, push things under the rug. And you can't live life that way. You'll never be healed, and you definitely will never become whole. And so when you do that, you find yourself leading on people who didn't cut you, right? You're interacting with people, and you're pushing off your insecurities, your your demons, your your past and stuff on these people who had nothing to do with the things that you refuse to address. You can't fix what you don't face. And so if you're not willing to do the internal work, then you'll never reach the level of freedom that is literally on the other side. It's not something that will happen overnight, but it is something that you have to work at. And so until we get to the point where we are honest with ourselves about what we feel, why we feel that way, who is tied to, and then not be afraid to reach out so we can learn how to do that, then you're going to remain stuck and you're going to remain in a cycle of going in a circle and never being able to move forward or going up. And even if you do get to take a few steps forward, you find yourself getting knocked back 20 steps because something that you encounter in life is going to trigger, that thing that causes you to fall back into an old habit, deep depression, or whatever the case may be.
That's true. Some people, you have those people out there that are always strong and they stay strong. And then there is that one moment where they need to be weak. Not everybody can just bounce back. And then when they get to them points where they in situations where they're always the strong one and now they're weak and nobody to lean on, that's the hardest part, I think.
And I hate that word strong. I hate people call me strong because first of all, I didn't ask for this level of strength. But, and let me just say this, none of us are really strong. We're weak. We are, because, and don't get me wrong, it's not us being strong, because there's no way. I didn't carry myself when I was in that. I tried to throw in the towel several times and God threw it right back at me. So
right back at you.
It's not so much, because what we do is we put on a mask and we pretend we're actors out here in this world, because at night or when you come home and you close that door, you in tears or you're completely losing your mind. So are you being strong or are you just pretending?
Pretending.
So
most of the time
it's
pretending.
Exactly. It takes a certain level of now it does take a certain level of strength and courage to say I'm not okay and I need help. And how do I do this? That's strength.
I agree because I'm the strong one. I'm labeled all the time as the strong one, the one that always gets through. And sometimes I'm like you said, I'm pretending to be strong when I'm really inside. I'm crying because I need help. I'm weak, but who's gonna save me? I mean, that's how it always is. So how has your setbacks molded you into the person that you are today?
Well, again, they taught me how to be compassionate, understanding, and they've also motivated me to help other people avoid the avoidable. How to make better decisions, how to live a life that is, I'll say, pleasing to God, but more so to not so focused on pleasing others. Not so focused on pleasing others. And it's also allowed me to become a good listener and teach me how to be explicitly transparent, because what I found is when you are completely transparent and you emotionally undress in front of people, that is when you allow them to see that, hey, this person can 100% relate to me and they just may have something that can help me because they are already where I'm trying to be.
I like that. Completely transparent. I like that. Wow. So were there any influential people or like mentors who guided you during the early stages of your journey?
So my grandmother is probably, or was, I keep talking about her in first person or in present tense, like she's still here. But my grandmother, she was a huge, huge part of my life. She supported me in everything that I did. And I would say that she was probably the closest thing I'm ever gonna find to like the way God loves me. That's what I'll say. She is the one that planted the seed about God in me. She used to teach me, about the Bible, teach me about God and things of that sort. She used to teach me life lessons like, you always do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I heard her, and as I got older, I understood what that meant, but I never really truly understood until I had to still treat people the way I wanted to be treated, even when they were not reciprocating in the same manner, And so I would say she was probably the cornerstone of the foundation of who I am, right? And at my core. And then my godmother, she stepped into the mother role when my mother was absent. And then there are what I call my God orchestrated family. So when I talk about my family, I'm not talking about my biological relatives, because I don't have relationships with them, but my God orchestrated family. These are the people that God placed in my life along my journey to teach me the things that I had to learn on my own. I've been on my own since I was 15 years old. So teaching me, how to, take accountability and be responsible for my own decisions and actions, and not using my past as a crutch. Yes, it happened, but these are the steps you need to take in order to heal from it and get over it. So people like Demetria, Kimbrough, Ashley Qualls, and Stacy, and Michelle, there are so many people, Kalila, there are a couple people, that were placed in my life that has taught me a lot of lessons, that has helped me along my way and with my children, and still to this day. So those people are the most influential people in my world.
Well, I know your grandmother is smiling down. She's very proud of you because you are accomplishing a lot of your dreams and goals. And I'm sure she's smiling down, and everybody that has supported you on the journey. So
Yes.
Can you recall a specific moment or maybe an event that set you on this path that you are on today?
I would say that I remember it's quite a few that just, because I had so many pivots in life. But I would say that when I left my first husband, I had two children. We had two children. And, I had a phase where I decided I wasn't going to talk to God anymore. I wasn't going to pray anymore. I was going to do what I wanted to do. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing nothing. Like everybody else out here living their life, doing what they want to do, and their life is just fine. And I'm out here trying to do stuff the right way. And I just keep, from the time I came out the womb, like, why I got to fight for everything? Why do these things keep happening to me over and over again? I got out of a domestic violence relationship, So I was angry. And then, for a while, but I remember that for like probably 4 months straight, it was going into the winter months, and I would literally catch 10 buses a day, 10 city buses a day. I would walk a mile to the bus stop because the people that I was staying with when I was homeless with my two younger children, they didn't live close to the bus line. So I had to get up at 5 a.m. every day with my two babies, double stroller, bag, everything they needed. Hop on the bus and go downtown, on the bus, come up to where I need to go, get off, connect, go back, go down another street, drop them off, and do it backwards to go back downtown and catch a bus to work and do it backwards all over again. 5 a.m. to 11:30 at night, right? And so I did that. And I remember one day I was going to the bus stop, walking to the bus stop, and I was crying. And I was just like, why is everything so hard? Like, why, why am I going through this? Like, and so, because once I left my husband, like, it was just me by myself. I was taking care of my kids by my own. He wasn't seeing them. He wasn't doing nothing. So I'm 20 in my lesson was what, 22, maybe 23. And so I go to the bus stop and I'm complaining, crying. I see a man for the first time. Now the bus driver knows me and my kids. He waits on me when he doesn't see me there. And he helps me up on the bus, my kids and stuff. I see this man in this wheelchair. He's a heavy set man. He has no legs and he's in this wheelchair coming to the bus stop. By the time he gets there, he's tired, right? I could tell he's out of breath. And so, and I heard God say to me, he said, this man, has no legs. He has no legs. He's tired. The man, when the bus driver got there, he helped him on first. So he had to let out the ramp, help him on and time down. And he said he has no legs, and you're able to walk to the bus stop every day. You're able to step up on this bus and things of that sort. In that, he was teaching me a lesson that there's always somebody worse than you.
Absolutely.
And even when you can't see me or trace me, I'm still here. I'm not sleeping on the street. I still have a roof over my head, even though it's not my own roof. I don't have a car, but my legs work, and I'm able to get on this bus every day. So those are when he said that to me, I immediately felt convicted, and I was like, I'm so sorry, and then I decided that, okay, all right, God, from this point on, whatever it is that you want me to do, I'm going to do. I know you're going to take care of me. You have continued to take care of me. And about 2 weeks later, my kids' grandparents showed up with a new car for me, paid in full cash for me and my kids. It was a surprise. When God, he shows up, I have so many stories like that. When God shows up, when you recognize him in in your darkness and in your valleys and things of that sort, and you are still able to say thank you, and not just when things are going well, and you do what it is that he asks you to do, and all is well. And so from that point on, I decided I wasn't going to be a complainer, and I was going to do whatever it is he asked me to do. I'm going to do what it is you tell me to do, go where it is you tell me to go, and I'm going to say what you want me to say, and I don't care who don't like it. So
I know that's right. God has a way of making you not only smile, but he'll make you laugh. He'll take you, and you'll go through all types of things. And you come out of it and you smiling and you laughing, and you like, that's a good one. That's a good one, God.
Yes.
I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
God,
yes.
God'll take you through, but he'll bring you out. My mom used to say, my mom used to say that you're either you're in a storm, going through a storm, or coming out of a storm. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I really believe that's true.
Yes. And they say too, that if he brought you to it, he's going to bring you through it. And I tell people all the time, he's already made provisions for all of those uncertainties. And I'm a witness to it. I am a witness to it over and over, 1,000 times over again.
The story was already written. You just didn't know it. The chapters were already written. You just didn't know it, but he already had a plan for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So can you tell for all the listeners out there, can you give them an update of what you're doing currently?
Well, as I said, I'm working on the new film, I Survived Suicide, which is based on a true story from that book. And I'm also working on my book, Indestructible. So my life story, wrapping that up, bringing it all full circle. And man, I have a heavy schedule. So I start travel again this year in March. So I'll be traveling from March until, well, actually the end of this month through November for events. So I'll be at the SOAR Awards covering that. I think that's my first media coverage event for the year. So yeah, it's a lot. And then I'm preparing to relaunch the Bounce Back program for this year. So that'll start at the end of this month. So anybody that is battling with any challenges or trying to overcome trauma or hardships that wants to join, they can join the Bounce Back program. Now I'm able to do it virtually and not just do the group sessions, here where I'm at, Indianapolis, Indiana. But yeah, so people are able to do that. And I mean, there's a lot. And then, preparing for the first Business Bankers Help Shop of the year as well. And setting up a new hub or a second location of E.G.O Entertainment in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm there every month. So I have a lot of events there and clients and some team members there. So I'll be setting up a second hub there. So that's a little bit about, what's next and what's coming up.
Wow. That's awesome. You're going to be busy for the rest of the year. Wow. So as we wrap up our conversation, today, I would like to thank you for being a guest on Breaking the Silence to Unleash Your Inner Voice. But before we leave, if you had the world's attention for 5 seconds, what would you say?
I don't care where you come from, what you've experienced, how bad you think it is, or how far gone you think you are. You are still possible. Everything that you desire, every dream that you have is still possible. Still possible. There is nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, as long as you have breath in your body, there is nothing that you cannot turn around, nothing you cannot do, accomplish, or become, no place you cannot go. All you have to do is do the work. That's it.
Amen. And keep God first in everything that you do, and He'll work out
That's
the
it.
rest.
That's the only way to be successful. That's
The
it.
only way.
You're right.
Exactly. So once again, I thank you so much for joining me today. You are an amazing woman, and I pray nothing but success upon your life. Remember, the first step towards success is taken when you refuse to be captive of your environment in which you first find yourself. So tune in next time and let's break the silence together.